everyone, and welcome to Techyries. So, a lot has been happening in the tech and video game industry, y'all. So, buckle up. No, we have an
Buckle up.
update. Yeah, buckle up. We have an update on video game prices, rumors
Mhm.
floating around about a new Call of Duty, and the man behind the Elder Scrolls who passed away. But guys,
Oh, it was so bad.
it
So
was really
sad.
sad. I actually just saw the new game that they were working on and everything, and I'm really excited about it too. So really
I thought
sad
you were
for
gonna tell me like as I was writing the story, I actually was just crying. I was gonna be like,
no, no,
Morgan.
I wasn't, luckily. But but real quick, guys. I'm Morgan and that is KP. And with that being said, real quick, KP, before you go into your bit, um,
Okay.
we have some oh gosh darn it, I didn't sign into our chat. Can you send our emotes that I was trying to send of
Yeah.
us? Thank you.
Yeah.
While I log in.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't do anything.
Ah,
There
it's
we
not that I
go.
meant to. We have those, y'all. We have our new emotes. There are KP and Morgan 2025 emotes. So yeah, if you subscribe right now here over here on Twitch, you'll be able to use those. They're super cute and they're great. Anyway, that is all. I just wanted to share those. Anyway, I'm Morgan. That's KP. Those are our emotes.
All right. Did you know that the Game Awards are just over 4 months away?
Honestly, that's mind blowing that it's so close.
I know, right? So we're going to actually look at some of the contenders for the upcoming for the Game of the Year award, which I think will be really a great topic for us to discuss. And we have one video game review that might have you putting it on your wish list. We'll find out. But first,
Maybe.
we're going to dive into your Tech Pulse.
Alrighty. Oop, that is not what I want up. There we go. All right, everybody. So, Destiny 2's expansion, The Edge of Fate, has made some major changes to not only the balancing, but the gameplay too. Though you play as normal, Bungie has introduced a Metroidvania style exploration and puzzle experience with the Edge of Fate expansion. You can transform into what is called a Matter Spark, which is a dark matter ball of energy that allows you to travel faster and into areas your normal Guardian form cannot traverse through. However, players may be physically getting ill as there have been widespread complaints of motion sickness from the use of this Matter Spark ability. Luckily,
I
Bungie
would die.
you would die. You would die
I
for
would
sure.
die.
But good news though, Bungie is already working to resolve this issue. So, real quick, here is a quote specifically from the Destiny 2 team on their Twitter account. So, with this, they do say we will be making changes to Matterspark soon to reduce motion sickness and visual issues. Until then, players can change specific settings that may help reduce these issues. Please review our guide for more information. So, you can find that on their website. But now I will say the suggested changes aren't really complicated. Bungie recommends players reduce their FPS caps and turn off motion blur when in Matterspark mode. So, what
Who
we want to
has
know
motion
is
blur on anyway? Sorry, not to cut you off, but who has motion blur on anyway? No,
it doesn't
no,
bother me. So,
no,
you know,
no.
it depends. Certain games hate motion blur, hate it. Destiny, it's never bothered me, so I've never touched it.
I'm like, that's the first thing I look for. I'm like, off.
But yeah, what we want to know, guys, is what are your thoughts on the new Matterspark mode featured in Destiny 2, The Edge of Fate? Let us know in the comments. I want to know. Do you guys like it? You vibe with it? You not? Yeah.
See, I hate motion blur. Always turn it off immediately. I'm not alone. Thank you,
Yeah.
Element. I
It just,
appreciate
for me, it genuinely just depends on the game.
it's just I think ever since they've been experimenting more and more with the motion blur stuff, it's like, no, I'm good.
Sure.
Because that really does add to, and this is coming from somebody who suffers from motion sickness in
Sure.
video games. Motion blur is your death.
So, Can you
But
do
the
me
cap framing is interesting though. The fact that they want you to cap the frames, technically having the more frames helps you as a visual and everything.
maybe not
So,
necessarily it could be with the way everything moves, it may not.
mm,
It could be that, like, the higher frames, the higher and quicker everything looks and feels, and maybe, like, to
right.
help it maybe feel less, like, in your face and everything.
Mhm.
But if you can real quick or here, let me see if I can find you a video. I kinda want you to look at it.
If I can really
Briefly,
quick. Sure.
briefly. I
Okay.
want you to
Okay.
briefly look at it.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find a good video of it real fast. I just thought of this, sorry,
Wait.
I would have had it ready for you.
No,
Um,
that's okay.
Destiny 2
I like
Master.
watching. I'm like, hold on a second. What?
Yeah, right? I'm testing you right now. Um,
It's a good thing I really didn't eat anything yet.
so I wonder if I'm gonna send you this one link I found, because it's actually a link, like a video about someone doing like a solution. But
Okay.
I'm gonna put you in. Let me send you the link at a specific timestamp. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Start at this time. That way you can see. I think the normal movement for the ball, like the matter spark ball that you turn into, is fine. Like I don't think like when you first change into that form, I don't think that's causing the issues, and I want your opinion on that. I think it's when you change into like when you go through like there's like little holes and stuff you can go through that is how you like traverse through these areas, and then it does a
Mhm.
different like more you're more zoomed in and like focused in
Mhm.
on what you're doing because the spaces are smaller. I think that's the area where people are probably getting sick from. Don't
Do you
watch
wanna
it
show
long
this
enough.
also?
Yeah, I can
Do you
pull
also
that up.
wanna show
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
while
yeah.
I'm watching it on
100%.
because they're gonna be like, "Cool, Kitty's watching a video."
Yeah, here. Stop playing. I didn't want you to start playing yet. Rude. Okay. So, here is this everybody. I have it. Let me know when you're good, Katie.
Yeah, you're good. I've
Okay.
started watching it so I could see.
So, I think it's when you go into like the more like first person view of the matter spark. Obviously, don't watch it long enough where you get sick.
Does he do it again?
Probably. Eventually. One day.
I'll go back.
I'll be honest, I love this mode. I fly around in this thing constantly.
Yeah, like first person's gonna get you sick. But
There's
also,
other
if you
first
look at
persons
when
that are
you
more aggressive, in my opinion.
right. But if you look at even third person because of the camera angles, like you can have like when he, okay, so there was that mesh area that he was at that he jumped
Yes.
out of. Like that was fine because it was big enough. And then he goes into a smaller area and then you're not in first person, you're in third person. Like that could really mess with you too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want you to keep watching it and getting sick. So I was just
No,
curious
but I'm letting you know
since
like
you
those
are the
those are
one
the
out of
key
the two
areas.
of us though who like do get motion sickness because I do not. You know, I can there are areas later in the campaign that I was trying to find that video and I just didn't find it right away and I didn't want to make everybody to wait while I looked for it. That I think
Yeah.
are more feel more warpy and like weird where I think it might be later campaign stuff that's really causing this potential
So
motion sickness on people.
one thing that would be very helpful for Bungie is besides the fact that they're trying to fix this whole thing, if they think about not just frames per second, but like field of view. Field of
Sure.
view is a
Sure.
big area that can help with that kind of stuff. And then like I said, motion blur is like the other thing. Other aspects to think about is like bloom, taking out bloom because that kind of distorts the image. Any way that you can prevent distortion of an image really helps with somebody who has motion sickness. And then just on top of that, like they do say like if you do suffer from motion sickness, especially with video games, make sure that you have like light around you. So having bright light because sitting in a cave actually doesn't help you. Um I have tried many things though. I have tried Dramamine. The drama was mine for sure. And then the problem with that is it just makes me tired. And so then I just want to go lay down and not play. Um, the biggest issue that we had with Stray was, if we're going to jump off and talk about just like motion
Yeah.
sickness in general, Stray's camera angles were just what was killing me because the cat and the camera. If the cat was like far enough away, I was good. So when we were walking through like the different alleyways or it was like an open area and everything, I was fine. But the moment that we got into like we had to go into a house, the camera angles would like move super fast and like super close to the cat's butt, and then you'd have to like turn it and rotate it so that you could see like behind the cat because maybe something was back there. So then you'd be in the cat's face, and it just didn't help, and that's why partway through I was like, we can't, I gotta go. I'm like, you can keep playing, but I gotta go. But those are the
Fair.
main issues that I have. Is it's all about camera placement, and that's why like things like this can be really detrimental to like people who play because it can really turn them off from
Mhm.
wanting to play. It can make gaming just like not fun. Like for instance, Sea of Thieves is another one. It's all based on camera angles and distortion. Like there's a weird, and I've played with field of view on that. There's a weird distortion happening with Sea of Thieves and the way that the
The
first person
waves.
is built.
Yeah.
Well, and not even just counting on the boat, but just like in general when you're on an island, like it's a weird distortion that I get when
Mm.
I'm a first person, and it throws me off, and that's what causes
Is it do you
issues.
think it's part of, like, that? Because I know, like, some games have, like, the head bob. Do you think it's kinda like that how it, like, they bob a little bit more than maybe other games?
I don't notice the head bob. One thing I will notice is so like even in Dead Island 2 when I was playing that game,
Mhm.
there's a weird like whoosh that happens when you run or walk. So your
Okay.
character like the camera will literally like pull like this to show and indicate movement. And sometimes depending on that movement right there, it can be really hard for me and my brain to comprehend. And long story short, the reason I have this is because I went and saw United 93 in theater. And anybody who's seen that movie, it was all handheld, shaky cam. And it was nothing but like I don't remember how long that movie was, but I would know it was over an hour. So being over an hour of just straight constant, that's all you see,
Sure.
it created this issue, and now my I just can't shake it. And so like this is something I have to deal with now. Yay. I blame my teacher because I wanted extra credit.
Thanks, teach.
Ah, current story. Oh, that's what you wrote. Sorry. My bad. I can't read.
I literally was like, "I'm gonna
Elements of
send this in," and then I was like, "She's gonna read this aloud." I just know it.
current story. Current story. Uh element, same with the meds and napping. That always happens to me. Yeah. Meds can make you tired for sure.
Mhm.
But yeah. So but I want to ask you, Morgan, because I know that you have been playing Destiny 2 and the new stuff and everything.
Yeah.
What do you think of like do you think that there are ways that they can fix like the glitching and all this stuff? Like what is the glitching? Is the glitching just the clipping
Honestly,
into
I
like
don't
the
I've
material?
never, like, witnessed any glitching.
Okay.
I think it's just more like I think more of like, this motion sickness is coming from, like, this, like, there is in certain areas where because you are a ball of matter, and so they kinda have, like, this warbly kind of warping effect in some areas. And certain areas you are because this does you move faster in this ball form than you do as like your normal guardian form. Because on this
Right.
world of Kepler, you do not have your sparrow. This is your mode of transportation to get around fast. Because when you complete it, you go in through and you level up your matter spark ability, and eventually it's where you can just use it and ignite into this form at any time and whenever you want. That's what happens by the end of the campaign, and that is how you traverse around really fast. So
Right.
you're
Sorry, I
right,
was laughing at
Element. All
element.
balls are balls of matter. You're not wrong. This is a ball specifically of dark matter, so
Yeah.
maybe a little less stable. I don't know, but with that being said, there are certain areas because like they're used to like go through puzzles. Like there's little tiny like as you saw, there's like the little hole. A guardian can't fit through that, but this little spark can. You do it to like
Mhm.
complete. You like charge yourself up, and you um blow up these like pions and everything else to like get open up shields, things like that. But I think the motion
Right.
sickness is truly coming from in certain parts of maps there are like maybe a lot of movement or your speed is really high, and I think there's more of that blur, more of that motion really being thrown in your face to let people see like you are moving in a small area very quickly. Visually, I think it looks sweet, but I
Mhm.
was even thinking I was like I, I'm like I'm sure someone out there's getting motion sick from this. Just like from knowing
Right.
you and being like more aware of how people can get sick from things like that. So I don't
And
necessarily know
helping.
how they can fix it only because I don't struggle with this problem. It's one of those situations where it's like
Right.
I don't not that I don't understand it, but I don't know what about it could necessarily trigger it. Therefore, I don't necessarily
Mhm.
know myself how could they take this and change it. But maybe
Right.
it is toning down that warping sensation or those visuals of that movement, like playing into that visual side. Maybe they need to tone that down and like kind of though it looks sick, maybe for the sake of the players who do get sick from it, lower that quality or change that
Mhm.
visual to help them be able to enjoy the game without being getting sick, which I'm sure Bungie will do. Like Bungie usually when it comes to especially things like this is usually pretty much like, okay, we hear there's a problem. Let's take care of this because they want their game to be playable. Otherwise, they're not
Right.
going to make money and their game's not going to do well.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like they're usually pretty in this regard of the community. If you're getting sick from it, I feel like they're usually pretty good about taking care of it.
Do you think that we would ever maybe rethink this whole thing and just be like, okay, we tried something, it didn't work. Let's maybe not do something like this again.
I don't know because the future of Destiny, like when we get Renegades later in the year, they're doing a different style. Like they're playing around with different forms of storytelling. This story currently is dealing with more of a Metroidvania style, which is why we go into the Matter Spark, and we also have our Matter Morph, which changes and pulls, like you'll see like floating elements and stuff. Kind of like I feel like I've seen a little bit of it um and like Jedi Survivor and the Fallen Jedi and everything where he uses the Force to like throw up like what an obstacle he couldn't get through he like Cal would then put up or move something in the environment and hold it there
Mhm.
with the Force so he could then be able to traverse it. They kind of do the same thing but with dark matter and using a ability called Matter Morph. That doesn't really make people sick. I wouldn't see why that is. Like this is specifically Matter Spark where you go into the ball and you change your form. That's just
Yeah.
kind of changing the environment. So I think I don't think they're gonna say, "Oh, we're not gonna do something like this again," only because they in fact are. They've already planned it. They already have developed this to be another situation. But hopefully, this means going forward and playing around with new ideas. They're gonna be more like thought provoking going into the creation process of, hey, motion sickness is a big thing. How can we make sure this doesn't happen in the future? I don't think it's going to keep them from changing stuff and playing around with new forms of storytelling because that's a big part of Destiny going forward and for
Mhm.
Bungie specifically. But hopefully, that's just going to be a thought always at the forefront of their mind now for their player base.
Hopefully. We'll see. Well, I guess
Yep.
we'll have to see what happens.
I have one
I
little
may
hair.
not be able to play this one though.
We'll see. We'll see I'm curious what their changes are. What they're going to do and how much it will help.
Well, and did they say when they're going to be patching or not yet?
I have not found that information out, but Bungie, I'm
Mhm.
sure, is trying to get something out in the next couple patches. They're this type of thing. They're
Okay.
usually pretty proactive of getting fixed pretty fast.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, I would be curious to see. I mean, motion blur I can see helping, but I just don't know about like how else they can fix it unless they actually move the cameras around, which they would have to because I think that first
Mhm.
person would just murder somebody.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, you'll keep us informed.
Yeah, I'll always keep
You and
you
your
informed about
balls
Destiny stuff.
of dark
Can I
matter.
say I I know these balls well.
These are not the balls you've been looking for.
Where were they? All right, before we start
Uh,
talking more about balls, go on with your next story.
All right. Well, you could call it a take backsies on this next story, guys. Microsoft first announced its base price of its Xbox games would hit $80. The first game to be at this price was Obsidian's The Outer Worlds 2. Now, we did talk about this story on our when we did the showcase and everything, we were like, and then afterwards they released the price for it. But it turns out that Microsoft and Obsidian are taking back the $80 price. Instead, it will be $69.99 or basically $70, at launch. A spokesperson from Xbox made this statement saying, "We're focused on bringing players increased worlds to explore and will keep our full priced holiday releases, including The Outer Worlds 2 at $69.99, in line with current market conditions. If you pre-ordered The Outer Worlds at $79.99, you will have a refund waiting for you. The Outer Worlds launches on October 29th this year. But do you agree with this new price or is it still too expensive? Let us know."
Honestly, it's Outer Worlds, so will always think it's too expensive. Uh,
That's true.
I am I'm not a big fan of Outer Worlds personally. Um, Maybe it would have been more enjoyable with people, but I don't know. Just in general, it was kind of a bit of a miss for me, which is sad to say. But
Mhm.
I find this really interesting only because we had good old Randy Pitchford come out for Borderlands 4 being like, the real fans will make it happen. And then Gearbox is like, wait, that's-
No, Gearbox said, "Oh shit.
yeah, just
Quick! Somebody get the hammer. We need to break open the emergency fix
yeah,
box right now." Oh my god.
absolutely. And
Pull
in a
the
weird way,
alarm, pull the alarm.
it feels that way as well. And
Yeah.
honestly, I want to know so bad. How bad? How bad was their pre-order sales for Microsoft's Outer
Ooh,
Worlds 2?
let's see.
Because I feel like that has to be the reason they are lowering the price. Like
You keep talking. You're
I no,
good.
you're good. I'm really curious if we're able to find that number because it's what it's what makes sense to me. Like if you obviously they're saying if you've already pre-ordered, we can refund it. So I wonder if like their pre-orders tanked and that's
I'm
why
trying to see if I can find
we're
some.
getting this lower number. Yeah, I'll try to help you too. How many
But yeah, like so
worlds?
Elements kind of hitting on the head with the "I'm willing to bet no one bought any copies at 80." I'm sure there were the super
I'm
fans.
sure there's like 10 people.
There's the super fans. We all know there's super fans out there, and I'm not going to disregard them. But I am curious to see because I remember seeing the post they posted on July 23rd. They're like pre-order and it says 79.99 and it's all scratched out and it says
They
69.99.
so it's looking like
Did you find it?
no, but it sounds like the pre-order numbers are under wraps and currently unavailable from what I am seeing. Like they're not
I wouldn't be surprised.
disclosing.
I would Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't disclose it.
I mean the
Um
the downside is if you got to think about it though, Outer Worlds 2 they announced and I think they're going to see this for a lot of their games they announced at the Xbox Game Show is they're releasing every game that we saw on the Xbox on the game showcase on Game Pass as well. So yeah, if people can be like, "Well, I already pay for the Game Pass. I'm not gonna pre-order this game. I'm just gonna enjoy it through the Game Pass." That could actually be tanking their pre-order sales. And on top of it, there's a large community out there where it's like, Outer Worlds just kind of fell flat. I've met a lot of people who feel that way about Outer Worlds, both inside and outside of our typical circle of people. So I
right.
don't know. I don't know. Those I really think that those $80 pre-orders must have tanked for this to happen. It's not often you see a big like corporation like Microsoft be like, we're gonna lower our price for you.
Yeah, so I found this website called VG Charts, and it
Okay.
says unknown
Yeah,
for everything.
they are keeping that tight under wraps.
I mean, I don't blame them. Would you wouldn't want that out there? That's bad publicity for your marketing.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
that's
If I'm tanking in my pre-orders, I wouldn't want anybody to know that either.
right. I'd be like, nope. Can we find nope? What about nope? Like immediately my answer would be no.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Element. I played the first one, and I think the story and the gameplay. I never even finished it because I was like, this is just kind of meh. I'm a little bored.
Yeah. And that's fair. That is fair. Um, but with that, but not even just Outer Worlds 2, where they're pulling back the prices. They're going to change the prices now for future games. So now we're going to have future games coming out at 69.99, basically $70 and not 80.
Hmm.
So is that okay or is that too much? Or does it depend on the game? I personally think it depends on the game.
I agree. It depends on the game, how long the game is, what it visually looks like. I personally still, no matter what, don't want to pay that much money for a video game. But if it's a game, like honestly, let's say if they wanted me to pay that much for Destiny, I would. Like,
Yeah, I know
it's
because
one of
it's your love. It's your baby.
exactly
I
like
get
that.
it.
There are
Yeah.
franchises out there I would 100% pay that money for. I guess as Randy said, the fans will make it happen. But
But remember, after he said that and they fixed it, then he came out and he was like, "See, we're good. We're not even $80." And I was like, "Yeah, but your
but you're a greedy
your
son of a
massive
bitch.
one
Shut
is."
up.
You're right.
Shut up,
It's
Randy.
fine.
No
Look,
one
I've come to the
asked.
conclusion every CEO of every major AAA game out there is greedy. And
100%.
that's just the name of the game. I mean, like you guys complain about your CEO for Destiny. I mean, we all know this.
Yeah.
Look at my other one, like Blizzard stuff. They're greedy. We all
Yeah.
know this. Like it is what it is at this point. But I do agree with Element that I will keep playing my $20 indie games. I love supporting indie developers. I
Absolutely, me too.
actually get a lot of joy out of playing those games. I do have my loves, and I know that, and you have yours, and we will definitely indulge in those. But from the most part, for the most part, I should say, I don't really buy a lot of AAA games,
I don't
really.
either. Destiny is like my main AAA game that I play. And then the rest
Yeah.
for the most part, like I'll have a couple things like for example, like uh Jedi Fallen Order or Survivor. Those are
Mhm.
AAA games. But they're not like I don't want to say they're not like the typical AAA, but they just have the story where like I want to be there. You know what I mean? Like I want to enjoy this, I want to consume this. Where most of the games I do play are indie games, and they're some of the more fun games I've played in a long time because they
Mhm.
think out of the box. They're not just going for the numbers and getting to get the paycheck kind of deal. Though that is important to the indie people, so go support them. They need the money to keep doing what they're
They
doing.
do.
You can. I feel like when you play a lot of indie games, you can tell that this is a passion project, and they've poured as much time and love as they can into it, and they want to
Right.
see it succeed. So
Yeah. So I think they're gonna see a change. I don't know if the 69.99 will stick. We'll see. And they might drop it.
we'll
I mean,
see.
we all know that eventually these games go on sale. So
They
if there
do.
is a AAA game that really does like warrant me to be like I really want to buy this, and it's not one of my main games, I'll probably wait for a sale.
Yeah. Well, what about if it's a new Call of Duty game?
Ooh, is it gonna be on the Game Pass so I don't have to buy
Oh,
it?
Call of Duty probably will be. Yeah, but
Okay, as long as it's over there, then that's fine. Because I don't want to buy it. Do you blame me?
well, if y'all didn't know, there is actually a new rumor circling it that's related to none other than Call of Duty. If you didn't catch the hints by now, so this rumor is that the next Call of Duty installment from Sledgehammer Games is expected to release in 2027 and will actually break away from the franchise's Modern Warfare and Black Ops sub series. Now, Sledgehammer Games is the youngest of the Call of Duty studios. They were brought on as a co-developer of the 2011 Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It then developed the futuristic yet divisive Call of Duty Advanced Warfare back in 2014, as well as Call of Duty World War II and its second World War II game in 2021, Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, back in 2023, they took developing lead on Modern Warfare 3, which was the third entry in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare reboot series. But with all that being said, the rumor of the rumor of a new Sledgehammer lead Call of Duty game is that coming out in 2077 is from a new tweet from the Call of Duty insider, the Ghost of Hope. Now here's their tweet on screen. That way you can take a look at what they said. But with that being said, this post mentions that Sledgehammer's next game won't be a futuristic follow up to Advanced Warfare, which was previously rumored. It will instead introduce an all new Call of Duty subseries set in our modern day. It is also rumored that the co op Zombies mode will not be part of this new game from the studio. Now, like Black Ops 6, though, player movement will be a big part of the entry's gameplay experience, so will martial arts and karate moves like various kicks and chopping maneuvers. Now, if this rumor is correct, this Sledgehammer Games title will be the first non Modern Warfare or Black Ops game in 5 years. It is very possible that this rumor may not be proven true or false until we actually get the 2027 Call of Duty official reveal, probably 2 years from now. But what we want to know is what type of Call of Duty game do you want to see next? What do you want the future of Call of Duty to be other than we just don't want more? Like, if you could have a Call of Duty game, what Call of Duty game would that be? Let us know in the comments.
Ninjas.
Fucking ninjas, man.
Just straight ninjas. You don't get guns, you get ninjas. I want Call of Duty to blend with Pokemon. And I just want Call of Duty pals.
Isn't that just Pal World?
Maybe. They'll probably get sued if they do that.
Don't tell Nintendo.
Sore subject. Call of Duty meets D&D, where you get to actually play different types of classes. You have to choose your class, but you also have to embody their personality when you stream or play with friends. And there are no missions. There's no role playing or anything like that, only when you're yelling at people. And and there's only just fighting. So it's an all-out brawl. What do you think? And you have to roll for initiative when you play
Fuck
because
yeah, sold.
because you can't have cheaters. So you have to roll for initiative so everybody can see where they land and
Yeah.
then they all play. I'm just trying to think of the most extreme. Call of Duty with dinosaurs. You get to ride them. And then
Isn't that
as
just
you ride,
Ark?
damn it. Okay. Call of Duty with dragons. You get to ride them. And your dragons spew out fire. But you also have a machine gun attached to its head. So at the same time, you could still compete in battle.
Oh my god, not its head.
What's another one? Call of Duty underwater. The only way to survive is making sure you have enough oxygen and you only get to use a spear gun.
Which one's that one? Is that Subnautica?
Subnautica. Call of Duty lost its soul when it moved away from World War I and World War II stuff. I feel.
See,
Call of Duty meets meets Final Fantasy. You get to ride a chocobo.
oh my god, honestly, wait, hold on, 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 hold
You
on.
asked what I wanted.
No, and now I'm gonna tell you what I want because that gave me an idea.
Okay.
I want like an isekai fucking Call of Duty. Just all of you players in Call of Duty get fucking isekai'd, like sent to the gulag, but get isekai'd somewhere into this fantasy world. But you have your guns and you gotta make sure, gotta figure it out.
Ooh, what if it was instead of zombies, it's Call of Duty versus vampires?
Call of Duty. Oh No, I actually am very, very interested in seeing what is going to do because I think there is a lot of fun, creative stuff that we do see in Call of Duty, but Call of Duty
Mhm,
now, sadly, I think the campaigns are always really good. I've heard amazing things
yeah.
about the most recent campaign, and although I haven't played it myself. And with that being said, I really think there's a lot of fun creativity that there can be had, but the main side
Mhm,
of Call of Duty is the multiplayer and there's nothing new about that. It's just kinda
yeah.
cookie cutter, rinse and repeat, like, "Oh, wow, we have new maps. Here's some different guns. Here's the," but there's not a lot
Mhm,
of new to it. And I wanna see it if Call of Duty we n not if, as Call of Duty continues making games, like,
right.
I would like to see an evolution to the multiplayer experience. Because as Ramp just
Yeah,
said, Call of Duty campaigns are always amazing, and I've heard fantastic things about the Call of Duty campaigns. I would like to
you just
see
gave, like, 10 different
you
scenarios they
did.
could go
They're
with.
phenomenal. They're great. Love them.
No, you
Honestly, I'm
don't.
really interested in the next
Which
Call
one?
of Duty game. The which one? What did we
Oh.
just get? Which one did we just get? Ramp. What was the one I was constantly playing with you?
Oh.
Was that 4? Black Ops 4? Was that the
Isn't it
one?
Modern Warfare that you're
No.
playing? I
Oh,
think you're
Black Ops
playing
5,
Modern
okay.
Warfare.
I knew it was 4 or 5. So we're getting Black Ops 6. It's already
Okay.
been revealed. We got that revealed during the Xbox Game Showcase. And,
Okay.
with that being said, like, they're taking a very futuristic approach to it, and I'm kinda not gonna lie, I'm a little intrigued. I'm intrigued by what the campaign's going to be. I'm not intrigued by what the multiplayer is because the multiplayer is just gonna be the multiplayer. It's gonna be what it always
I'm
is.
telling you, I gave fantastic ideas.
You gave beautiful ideas.
And all of them can be made right now, except you owe me, Microsoft. Sorry.
An element, you're right. The evolution to multiplayer is what got us XP in game and the level lock gear. You're completely not wrong. I
Wait,
want to
one more.
see.
I got one more idea.
Okay.
Call of Duty multiplayer, but your babies.
Anyway, so what I was saying
Come on,
was,
think about it. Your babies. It'd be so funny. Your little toddlers running around.
oh my god,
See, Ramp enjoyed it.
someone's a little unhinged this afternoon.
No, I'm just helping the franchise evolve.
What do you mean we're devolving? We're children now. We're
Yeah, but
fucking
it'd be more
Benjamin. You
interesting.
want to Benjamin Button this Call of Duty?
Yeah, you go in, you have to go through a shrink ray, and then you shrink down. You basically go into grounded.
You know what? Let's just get Call of Duty Halo. Let's just bring aliens into Call of Duty.
But they did that. They did Call of Duty Halo. That's what Splitgate is.
That's fair. That's fair. Splitgate though,
Yeah. Splitgate 2. Who's playing it? I know I haven't played it. Morgan, you playing
I
it?
haven't. I wanted to, and now I don't know if I. I don't know. Oh,
Okay, well, for those who don't know, it's been called Halo, but with portals. Hence why it was
yay!
like, we already have Call of Duty with Halo. All right, so you guys may remember that on 1047 games, that 1047 games laid off staff due to the low player numbers, and even the studio's heads sacrificed their salaries in the process, not progress, process. Well, it turns out things have gotten worse. That's right, they've gotten worse. How do they get worse? Don't ask, but I'm going to explain it to you. So, according to Steam DB, on July 18th, Splitgate 2 managed to peak concurrent player count of just 2,033 players, dropping as low as 548 at one point.
Wow.
It hit its low point in just 41 days from launch. I just want to point out that the biggest competitor for Splitgate 2 is the recently released Mecha Break. But that's not all with this franchise. 1047 Games states it is going to unlaunch the game, taking Splitgate 1, Splitgate 2 offline. No, and taking Splitgate 1 offline and laying off 45 employees. So, what does the unlaunch mean for those who are playing? The game will remain playable and still receive its promised Chapter 3 update and some bug fixes. The CEO had this to say about the game. This doesn't feel like a launch game as much as we wanted to pretend it was. And obviously we said it was. It feels like a beta. There's bugs still, there's features that are missing that obviously not every game has to have every feature, but there's certain things that should be in a finished product. There's too many bugs and we're hitting the reset button. Now, while this sounds like the CEO isn't a fan of the game, it's quite the opposite. He is just admitting that there are many other issues, technical and structural, that is hindering players from enjoying the game. So he went on to say this in a statement. I think we've heard from the fans and from the gamers. They want something closer to Splitgate 1 also. So I think for us, this feels like a beta. It feels like a beta to me. It doesn't feel like a launch. Did I just do the same thing over and over again? Um okay, I'm going to keep reading. And I think we have to do a bit of a reset to actually listen to the fans, to the gamers, and address the feedback, fix the bugs, implement the features that should have been there on day 1, but also make some big changes that the Splitgate community wants. So, what do you think of Splitgate hitting that reset button? And if you are playing the game, what features do you want to see in the game? Let us know.
I am
Oh,
curious by
Splitgate.
this game. I was very
Okay.
interested. I just haven't had a chance to ever dive into it. Um, so I don't know. I'm curious to see what they're going to do and what they're going, how they're going to evolve it, if you will. I'm curious. I'm
I
very
want to know
curious.
what features. I
They're
want to know what
missing.
features he's talking about. Yeah, that they're
Yeah,
missing.
like
Like,
what's and also why would you release it as a release
right.
with missing features? Why not do like a early access? Like you could
Yeah.
done an early access release where it's like, "Hi, we're releasing this game, but in early access, we'll see how it is." Adjustments
Mhm.
can and will be made. And that's
Right.
fair element, definitely for the monies. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
It's
But
always for the
also, it's
money.
a free game. It's a free game.
Yeah.
So, cosmetics? That's it?
Yeah, and that's another thing is like you were saying they're competing right now with Mecha Break, and Mecha Break's another free game. And
I know.
there's a
And this
lot
is
of
the
stuff you can do in Mecha Break.
right. And also, like, when I don't know, there's so many questions about why and when and what and where and how,
Mhm.
that we have questions about with this game. But to sit there and say, okay, we're just gonna unlaunch it. You're gonna unlaunch it after you've launched it? Like that's counterintuitive in a way because you're saying, okay, it's fine, but you're still
Yeah.
gonna let gamers still play, and you're still gonna give them bug updates and fixes, and you're still gonna give them the Chapter 3 update content that you said that would give them, but you're gonna unlaunch the game. So instead of saying unlaunch, maybe you say you're rolling it back to an early access. Because an unlaunch makes it seem like gamers don't have the opportunity to play it anymore.
Yeah, it definitely in terms of like the marketing and the wording and just like how it can be taken by the public, very much makes it sound like, hey, we're unlaunching this game, which means we're unpublishing. We're removing it. Where it's like be like we are reverting this to more of an early access, kind of a tester, a beta kind of thing. But yeah, I definitely agree. Even like Ramp is saying, like unlaunch phrasing is not something you really should say because people who like we are people who are familiar with the lingo, so we get what you mean, but we don't think that's what you should be saying. Well, there are other people who don't understand that lingo and are like, unlaunch, so you're just getting rid of it? What the heck? I've
Yeah.
put hours in this game. Or man, I wanted to try it. Now I can't. And so you're losing
Right.
out on this on potential new players as well as returning players.
Mhm. And I wonder if this game fell into the same issue as Mind's Eye. it was something that they were like, "Hey, we have the Xbox game, Xbox showcase coming up. We need a game. We need to make, hey, do you guys still have your game ready? Is it gonna be ready? Where are you guys at?"
That could have
And
been.
then the CEO was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be ready. It's good. It's totally good to go. Like it's playable. All right,
Yeah,
great.
that
We're to show it. Let's make sure, like I
that
bet you
very
that
well could have
happened
been what happened for sure.
because they put those shows together just like we put our shows together. And it's what content are we going to show? What do we think people are going to get excited about? Like they knew that people were not really going to be that excited about the Outer Worlds 2. They knew that people were not really going to be excited about uh Gone Fishing, the Fallout 76 expansion. Like there were
Wow.
things that they were like, this is filler. It's fine.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah.
But when it came to this, they were probably like, oh, people are going to be hyped because it is considered Halo, but with portals. And people love Halo. And we know people love Halo. Like,
Yeah.
they
It was
know how
honestly
to
they're like,
get
we are running
gamers.
this thing on hopefully Splitgate 2. We're running it off of Grounded 2 and our eventual big announcement of the next Call of Duty at the very end. Like
Right.
that was what
Where we
their thought
duped
was.
everybody. Where we duped everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
where where KP sat here and tried to flip her desk. That's right. I will always remember.
It is honestly a
insert
glorious
insert
reaction.
video now.
Guys, if you want to see it, that highlight reel is already on our YouTube. It is our most recent highlight of the Xbox Game Showcase, and it is hilarious watching her reaction. I've never heard her boo so hard in my life.
You've never heard me swear so hard in my life.
All the above.
You've never seen me actually get angry at a video game like that.
With the struggles though that are happening with Splitgate 2, there's
Mhm.
actually a game that has been, that people might want saved.
I know this is another fascinating story, guys.
Yeah.
So I know, like I'm actually shocked that this is actually happening, but I'm also for it because if you can save a game, especially if you love playing it, let's do it. So it looks like gamers want to actually save Anthem. A petition started on change.org is well underway and has already gained quite a few signatures. So as of looking at it today, the amount of players, and I just pulled it up myself so I can see it, is 2,519 verified signatures. So when they first launched this, it was like 600 and some. So the fact that it's over 2,000 is impressive.
Hmm.
BioWare made the decision to shut down Anthem, and the game will be fully unplayable starting January 12th, 2026. The game launched in 2019, and in 2021, BioWare canceled any future plans for Anthem. Under the petition, though, the proposal is to release the server files or dedicated server binaries as an optional DLC, remove microtransactions by integrating their content into the standard loot pool, and making all items obtainable through gameplay. So, do you think Anthem should be saved or is it too late for this game? Let us know.
Man, it's hard to say because the thing is the reason that they are shutting partially they're shutting this game down is because it's not making them money. So like for the for this whole save Anthem petition to be like remove microtransactions, put the content into the standard loot pool, make them obtainable again. Like sure, that's great, that's amazing and all, but from a company side of things, from somebody who wants to look at it like as a monetary thing, like they release games to make money. That's the
Mm.
main thing. That's why we buy them. Is so they can make money in a way, right? Is like not that's why we buy
I
them.
buy them for the story.
Sorry. That's not why we buy them, but that's why they make them purchasable. Is so they can make
Right.
money.
Yeah.
Or if you get a free game or or a game that's been out for a very long time, you introduce microtransactions. So that that game can be maintainable. You have to pay people to continue to work on a game and to like help fix bugs. You have to pay to run their servers. You have to pay to have the server room of computers and everything to be cooled and to just run electricity wise and everything. Like a game does have to make money for a studio to stay afloat. So it is just more of a question of, though I love the idea of like, yes, remove the microtransactions. Is that feasible for the studio to do? Like, I think I have a feeling that Anthem is just a money bleed for them at this point, which is why they are finally completely shutting the game down. But it's great to see that it has such a loyal fan base that it wants it to be saved. But to be a little cynical, are 2,500 people going to change that? Probably not. That's not enough numbers. You need that thousand, you need that 2,000 to be more like 10,000 plus to really make a
Yeah.
dent.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, it just shows that
There is loyalty out there in the
2,000,
game base.
yeah, like there's 2,500 people that were still like, this is my game.
That's
This
awesome.
is a game I loved.
For how much shit Anthem has got, that is awesome to see
Right.
that there are over 2,500 people who are like, "No, I wanna save this game." That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. But it's not gonna happen.
I don't think it'll happen either, sadly. I
Like,
do think to
yay!
answer our
But
question, I think it is too late for the game to be
right,
saved.
but I do think that, if there's hope, who knows? You never know. Like somebody, a big company could come out and be like, "Hey, guess what? I really want to buy Anthem off of you." You don't know. You never know what could happen. Just
It's
because
true.
there's a petition and you get that out
I was
there,
gonna say,
people,
another company could be seeing that people are trying to save the game. They're like, "Oh, I could see this getting up to 3,000 easy," right? With how much it's already grown and
yeah.
from early and up, and it can get more than that. I could see another developer being like, "Let's grab Anthem. Let's buy them out of it. Let's make it into what they want. Let's make it better. Let's do this and that." Or buy the rights and let's do maybe a spin-off, like an Anthem spin-off. I don't know I haven't played Anthem in a really long time, or I haven't really touched it, so I don't really like know what you can do with the story, but like maybe there's room for a spin-off. Somebody can buy that licensing, they can buy those rights, and they can take Anthem and make it a new game that is Anthem related and based and give it a new fresh launch.
I mean, who knows? Maybe when they buy it out, they get the underlining of what they wanted to do with that 2.0 release that they wanted to update to
That could be.
reimagine Anthem. And they look at it and they go, oh, well, look at this. We can take bits and parts, but let's add our own twist to it to make it better. Like, oh, I see what they wanted to do here, but you know what? If we do this, it makes it a better like movement or a better
Mhm.
gameplay or whatever, right? So I think if there is a developer out there that is like very curious and or maybe who knows, maybe somebody that is a petition person who signed it is a developer and is like, I can make this game better if I just
Sure.
had the files. And so I part of me wants to hope that something will come out of this, whether it's they do something where they want to bring it back or they try to bring it back or somebody else grabs it and they get it sold out. I'm hoping for the latter, that it does get sold out to another company and then they can take the bones of it, retweak it, and it can become the game that it was supposed to be. Because honestly, it had great potential even after they showed what it could do at launch. Like, I was sold.
Yeah.
And
I
I
was
literally bought the
really
game. And I
interested
was
in
like,
it. I was
okay,
super interested. I'm like, I can't wait to touch Anthem. Can't wait to dive
yeah.
into this.
And I could tell you Latin was sold on it because he played it. And then he was like super excited when they said they were going to redo it because he was like, yeah, I get it. There were things that were wrong with it, but they're going to redo it and it's going to be great. It's going to be a brand new anthem and it's going to be completely different. And then they canceled that. So, like, I see there are people out there that really want to see where this game can go. And I think
Yeah.
there's potential, but there has to be the right person. So, developers out there, if you want to gain the traction of Anthem and fix it and make all of us people who tried to do it and play the game and we're like, meh, change your minds. Buy the game. Buy all the stuff. Make it
Do
better.
it. Change it. Change your mind.
And then change your minds and then we'll go play it. But make it not $80, please.
Yeah, for real though. This needs to be like 40 or less.
for, for realies. Not $80. Maybe they should unlock them and try again. Oh, so sad. Speaking of sad news, though.
R.I.P. Yes, speaking of sad news for sure. So, as we alluded to earlier, guys, we do have some sad news to share. So, um, Julian Lefay, also known as the father of Elder Scrolls, has passed away at the age of 59 years old. So he directed and programmed the Elder Scrolls Arena. He also programmed, designed, and led the overall project of the Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. Julian LaFay also worked in various roles on spin off projects such as Redguard and Battlespire, and the absolute gold main franchise title, Morrowind, which was Elder Scrolls 3. Now, if in case anybody, in case you didn't know, Julian uh actually co-created the company Once Lost Games back in 2019 alongside fellow former Bethesda developers Ted Peterson and Vijay Lakshman. He was actually directing an upcoming spiritual successor to Daggerfall, The Wayward Realms, which looks awesome. Also, look forward to a future spotlight here on Techyries on that game. But let me go ahead and just kind of give you this visual while I read this next bit. We have producer Victor Villarreal recently releasing a video revealing that Julian Lefay had recently departed Once Lost Games due to a terminal cancer diagnosis. The video included a touching statement from Peterson and explained that Lefay was stepping down from the game development altogether in order to spend what time he had left with his loved ones. Sadly, Julian Lefay passed away only 5 days after the release of this video. Lastly, a heartfelt statement from the entire team at Once Lost Games was posted on Twitter. This message shared with the gaming community just how strong of an impact LaFay has on the gaming industry. It is worth a read if you have the chance. So, our thoughts are with Julian LaFay's loved ones and the gaming community. And what we want to know now was, what was your favorite Julian LaFay work? Let us know in the comments. Mine, definitely Morrowind. Love Morrowind to Elder Scrolls 3. Well, this is sad news. He's he was very, very pivotal, like a very big
Yeah.
person at Bethesda and at in the creation and the evolution of the Elder Scrolls. And honestly, I'm excited to see what comes from the new game that he was working on until his departure and his inevitable passing from his cancer that he had going on, his terminal cancer. So I'm very excited to take a look at Wayward Realms and to see what it's all about and how good it's going to be. It's got a strong team behind it, leaders from Bethesda. So it's exciting to see what it's going to do. And I'm sure there's going to be a beautiful little, I would not be surprised if there was some sort of beautiful little Easter egg in there to find that they end up creating in memory of him.
That'd be cool. That would be cute.
It would be super cute. All right. Well, with that, everybody, we are going to go ahead and take a short break. And when we return, we are going to show you a review of a pretty cool game that KP got to try out. And then we have some game award discussions to do. We want to talk about what game you might think is going to be potentially the game of the year this year. But until then, guys, stick around. We'll be back shortly. And yeah, see you soon.
Deploy, loot, and repeat. This is your first look at Riftstorm, a game by Conviction Labs, who are a group of veteran game developers. This is their debut game. In this game, you play as a Weaver, an elite operative tasked with closing interdimensional rifts and containing cosmic threats that blend myth and sci-fi. You can play solo or join forces with 2 others in a 3-player co-op. I opted to play this solo. When you start the game, you are a new recruit, but then everything goes crazy and you are under attack. From here, the game will teach you how to dodge, shoot, and deploy your different skills. You can play this game using a controller or with a mouse and keyboard. After completing the tutorial, the demo has 4 missions. 2 missions that give players a chance to complete small dungeons and gain early game loot while increasing their combat power. There are 2 other special type operations, one called Operation 1411, which is a hybrid tower defense meets extraction mode. The other, Operation Marble Obelisk, which pits players against a large force of mythic entities and unique mechanics to overcome. Additional mission types, challenge modes, and environments will be available when the game launches. Let's look at the art style of this game. It has a very comic book feel to it. First game I thought of when I loaded up Riftstorm was Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Although not a one-for-one look, it had aspects that reminded me of the game. Let's talk about the audio for the game. There are no voice lines for any of the characters except one person on the PA system. The developers wanted to be open about this voice. They say they use a text-to-speech generator to synthesize voice lines for their robotic assistant character. The software they use for this is 11 Labs, which falls under the usage of artificial intelligence. As for the game music, it has more of a techno beat as you travel through the dungeons and even at home base. Overall, this game will have you choose from a growing roster of Weavers, which currently has 7 that will be available at launch, and 2 more in the works. You'll get to choose from powerful abilities and adapt and evolve your Weavers. And the devs say that no 2 missions are alike, with over 100 different lithogram power-ups for you and your friends to discover. At this time, there is no announced release date, but there is still a demo available on Steam. So get ready to jump into the action with this looter shooter game, Riftstorm.
So, KP, I want to know,
Yes. Yes.
like, how I guess this is a
Yes.
sorry. I'm struggling over here. So this is a pretty fun like roguelike game, yeah?
hmm Yeah.
What was I know everybody just got to like enjoy watching your package and everything, but I'm wondering, what do you think was the one thing in this game that was like stood out to you? If you had to think about Riftstorm, what was like the one thing you're like, yeah, this is what I remember of the game, or like this stood out?
I would say probably the art design, the colors, because
Okay, nice.
yeah, because like it's very vibrant, even though it's not vibrant. Like it's very interesting. It definitely, like I said in my package, it definitely has a weird like Marvel Ultimate Alliance feel. You know,
Yeah,
when you're like in the beginning parts of everything. Um, but I really think it's got good bones to it. It's a little wonky because like you have to be able to like. So was I using mouse and I think I was using mouse and keyboard. You kind of have to like aim with your mouse and then you're shooting and stuff like that, but then you're doing all
sure.
your different things, which was fine. But I really also the other thing that really stood out to me was also the characters. I feel like the characters are really good, and I like the fact that there are like 6 to 8 already done for when this game launches, which is
Nice.
amazing because normally you get like, a handful. It's like, here, have like 4 or 5, or 4, depending on how we feel. And then we'll release more later. But that was really cool to see that there was a lot of these weavers available, which I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then the other thing that I found out too about the game, which I thought was really nice, was when you go in, those little things that drop on the ground, which are helping to basically modify your character's stuff with their, weapons and stuff like that. It's all like randomly generated. So one playthrough of you and I were playing, could have like some really cool stuff, but then the next time you play through, it could have some other stuff to it. So it's never the same pieces that you'll see. It's always going to be randomly. You might get it like a here and there, a couple that
Gotcha.
are
Nice.
for the most part, it's pretty randomly generated. I think I do find it a little weird though that the only voice you hear is literally that little AI text to speech like PA system.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah, it's
that
very
is
like
interesting.
yeah, like it's not off-putting, but it's definitely
Different.
I don't know, like it's kind of strange because you have to read the rest of it. I'm like, I wonder if they'll go back through and
That
change
would
that
be
up
nice.
later.
That's one thing I always like struggle with. Is like I want as much as immersion as possible, and I'm like, give me voices, give them to me. No, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me while watching your review and everything is just how colorful. I like how vibrant and colorful this game is. So visually, I find the game really fun.
Yeah. It's definitely got some good gameplay to it.
Mm,
I want to see more of it when they finally release it, but
that's fair.
the demo was really fun. So,
That's
if you
fair.
want to check it out, I think it's still available on Steam. I want to say
The
because
demo.
there because there is a demo for it,
Let me see. I'll check. I'll check real
but you
quick.
never know. Sometimes they take these down.
Let me see. Let me see.
Nope, the demo is still there.
You are
So if you
right.
guys want to check it out, there is still a demo available.
Heck yeah. Go have fun, gamers.
Go have fun, gamers.
But speaking,
Away.
yeah, right. But speaking of games that are fun, have potentially good gameplay, look good, things like that. It is time. We are leading up to the Game Awards. Yeah, yeah, you know. But
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
are just over 4 months away from the Game Awards, and there are already predictions on who will take home the Game of the Year award. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out this Instagram post from Games GG. So let me pull it up real quick so we can look at it.
Do you
Here we
want me to
go.
keep reading or you want to my read?
Oh, my deepest apologies. Please continue reading. It
All right.
blended in with the other
So
blue. I'm so sorry.
no, it's okay. Apparently my color did not show up properly. So weird.
That was my bad.
So yeah, so as Morgan said, check out this Instagram post from games.gg. They put together a probability of which games will take home the award. Leading the potential winners is Claire Obscure Expedition 33 with 66.7%. Also on the list is Donkey Kong Bonanza at 10.2%, Death Stranding 2 at 7.5%, Split Fiction at 6.3%, which Morgan and I still have to play, Monster Hunter Wilds at 5.6%, and Assassin's Creed Shadows at 3.7%.
Man. Man, oh man. There's a lot here, but we want to go ahead and give you all a a closer look at each game. So, first up, we have for you Claire Obscure Expedition 33. So, lead the members of Expedition 33 on their quest to destroy the paintress so that she can never paint death again. Explore a world of wonders and battle unique enemies in this turn based RPG with real time mechanics. Now, I think this is a visually beautiful game. This game is gorgeous. What are your thoughts on it? I know I haven't had a chance to touch this game yet, but just from what I've seen of people playing it, from the trailers,
Mhm.
all the stories we've written about this game so far, because this has been a record breaking sale game for them, for the studio. Phenomenal, beautiful game.
I think there's just so much to this game that's incredible. Not only is it visually appealing, I love the fact that um, they used real actors to portray the actual visual, facial movements, emotion of each character throughout the story that you connect with. I think there was a lot of thought behind making this game. And I
Fair,
think that's
totally fair.
what's really setting this game apart from others is the big thought process behind what they wanted in this game. And I'm sure when they made it, they were like, Yeah, we just want to make this really beautiful, great game and didn't think anything like, oh, it's going to do really well. I think they thought it was going to do about normal, like an average video game sale, right? I don't think that they sat back and went, yeah, we're going to kick butt and we're going to just blow everybody out of the water, you know? Like they want that. Every video game wants that. You know, like every
Sure.
video game developer, studio, they want to, they want to have the best game out there. I mean, we've seen it all the time with every CEO out there, with their flag going, "My game's the best. My game's the best." But I'm sure when they made it, they weren't like, "Oh my gosh, it's going to blow everybody out of the water." I mean, if it does well, yay, go for us,
Yeah.
but
This is a type of game looking at it though, like the creators behind this love this game with the attention to detail and the care that I feel like this world has. Um, I feel like this is the definition of the studio's passion project.
well, Element says that he played it until he got to a screen that said expedition failed.
Oh
So he turned
no.
it off and hasn't touched it since. He said the world was beautiful, but he was bored the whole time. Now, what made it boring? Was it the story? Was it the mechanics? Was it the gameplay? Like what exactly to you is considered boring for this game?
Yeah, I'm curious as well.
Yeah, we're going to put you on the hot seat. You said it. We
Let
put you on
us
the hot seat.
know. Let us know, Element. Also, for anybody right now who is wondering, like in case while we're waiting to hear from Element, we do have a current poll going on over on Twitch where you can vote for which one you like. We're not able to put in all of the options though on the YouTube chat, so we do have a Q&A going, so you can type in what game you think will be game of the year, and you can suggest. By the way, guys, do not feel free to suggest other games in chat that are not on the list, because if you think they're gonna win over these, we want to hear 'em.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I think there's other games out there that we haven't seen yet. All right, so Element says part of it was the story. I had no idea what was going on other than bad person does bad thing. And the gameplay was just run forward, fight monsters. All right, well, that's fair.
Okay.
I mean, this was their first game. I'm sure if they make more or another one of it, right, that they
Mhm.
will probably learn from this one and make changes down the road, which I just have a hard time getting into. And that's fair. There
Totally
are a
fair.
lot of games like yeah, Final Fantasy 13 was the same thing. So I have a hard time with games like that too. Like turn-based is really sometimes difficult for me to get into.
It's
And I know
slower.
this isn't full turn-based, like
Mhm.
it's gameplay, some of it's turn-based, some of it's not, from what
Sure.
I've read up about this game. But like I definitely have a hard time with just like, ooh, okay, we're gonna run into this little area. Oh, look, it's turn-based. Cool. I don't want to do this. Can I just bypass this? So I understand that. And there are certain games that I play where I'm following the storyline, but then I don't think I followed the storyline to what they have suggested the storyline to be. And I'm like, oh, I apparently don't know what's going on.
That's funny.
Like for instance, I'm not trying to throw Destiny under a bus, but for instance, Destiny, I have no idea what's going on in that game, to be fair anymore. But
Sure.
I just have a hard time following storylines sometimes. And it's got to be a game that I'm invested in. Which is why I think certain games and are really great and some games are like, okay, it was a good game, but I don't know what happened. Things happened. A bad person tried to do bad things and I said no.
Well, want to talk about the next one we get?
Sure. So the next one was Donkey Kong Bonanza. And in this one, you will crash through walls, carve tunnels with your fists, punch straight down into the ground, and even tear off chunks of terrain to swing around and throw in groundbreaking exploration. The more you smash, the more areas open up to explore. And I know we have talked about this game a lot because it's very groundbreaking to a Nintendo Switch game, as we have seen, because it's not just your typical side scroller or platformer. It is actually something where they have learned to incorporate different physics of and different depths of the actual game itself, which is nice. So I think this is a good contender, if I'm being honest. Because it is
Yeah.
thinking outside of the box of what we see with normal Nintendo. And I think that's a good sign. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Mario Kart has also done it. They pushed Mario Kart to be different with the latest one that came out. But I think from just a single player game and not a party game, this does take a cake for me.
Yeah, this is definitely a big deal for Nintendo specifically, and the evolution of the Donkey Kong franchise. Like it's nice to see that they are taking the game, they are building upon it, they are improving upon it. They're making it more of a day that a game that can be enjoyed in the modern day. Because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of Nintendo games for me are pretty boring because
Mhm.
they're just what I've always played my entire life, and they're not like groundbreaking and like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is mind blowing. So
Mhm.
it's definitely one of those things where I'm excited to see this evolution, especially coming from Nintendo Switch, because Nintendo needs to start evolving.
Yeah. And I think with this game, if we start seeing more games that are very similar, hopefully not the same like let's just not cookie cutter, like
Agreed.
okay, we did it once, let's do it
Oh, we
again,
did it and it did great. Let's repeat the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
let's
don't want to
avoid
see
that.
that, but
Let's
I do want to see like okay, we have learned that we can do stuff like this. Now what can we do next? Or
sure.
what's the next piece that we can do? So I'm hoping we see an evolution with Nintendo continue as we keep going. But as a contender, what do you think? Do you think it could stand up against Claire Obscure?
Um, Potentially. I think we have other games yet that are my go-to, my contender, if you will.
You guys, I put the poll up for like 10 minutes on Twitch. If you guys still want to weigh in though, please do. We only had one person vote. But if you guys do want to weigh in as we keep talking through all the different games, don't hesitate to put your answer in our chat of which game do you think will take home the game award, the game of the year award, or if there is another one out there that we haven't discussed that was on this probability, let us know and we'll look at that one too. Not to sidestep you, Morgan. Sorry. Let
You are good. Let us know. Let us know
us
in the
know.
chat.
Let us know now.
All right. Well, let's talk about the next game on the list, guys. So the next one from the potential, game of the year potential could be the winners that we have been discussing today. Another one is none other than Death Stranding 2. So, in Stranding 2, you embark on an inspiring mission of human connection beyond the UCA. Sam, with companions by his side, sets out on a new journey to save humanity from extinction. Join them as they traverse a world beset by worldly enemies, obstacles, and haunting questions. Should we have been connected? Now, honestly, Death Stranding, even the first game, very story rich, a little slower, but a very also beautiful game. I know,
Mm-hmm.
like my husband bought the first game recently during the big Steam sale, and when he was playing it, he was like, "Yeah, the first 45 minutes was just almost completely cutscene." So it's a very deep, very heavy story. And the visuals have definitely been upgraded since the first game. And I do think this could be a strong contender. Not gonna lie. I do think this could be a really good
So,
strong contender.
so from the first one that we had, Death Stranding, the first one, um,
Hmm.
that one took home at least 4 awards. So it took
Yes.
home a BAFTA Games Award for Technical Achievement. It took home the Game Award for Best Score and Music. It took home the Game Award for Best Performance. And it took home the Game Award for Best Game Direction. So, with the improvements that we've seen on this one, the fact that it is something that is very story driven, very visually driven, I see that it could honestly be a good contender. It may even be pretty close between Death Stranding 2 and Claire Obscure because of the fact that they are both story. And this could be the year of heavy stories for, because last year was Astrobot. We all remember Astrobot, which was not
Yeah.
story really. It was story, but it wasn't story driven. Okay, it was a different. We knew there was a story. The story was save your other Astrobots. We got that. Um, but this year it feels like we are in a heavy, heavy story driven um game.
Good.
Yeah, which is good. Like game industry, which is good. I have no issues with a heavy story as long as the story is appealing to me. But
Yeah.
I can see this one definitely being there, and I can't wait to see like when we actually get to the nominees, like which ones are actually up
I know, because
because
I don't remember there. Just so people know when they're confused, like there's a cutoff, so that's why sometimes we might see a couple games from the end of last year because I think they cuts off November. So any game that comes out after no like a certain date in November, I'm pretty sure is up for this year as well. So anything that was like November, December last year could be in the running for this year's Game Awards. I could be wrong
yeah,
though.
I'm trying to remember when the cutoff is for it.
I want to say
Because
it was
it's
like
like
November.
a little bit. I think it's like November or something of that of last year to like I think
Like
November of this
like
year
end
or
of
something like that.
October this year, I think. I think it's November to November. So anything like November 1st through like October 31st, I think is the cutoff.
Here we go. The cutoff date for eligibility games eligible for the Game Awards this year must be available for public consumption on or before Friday, November 22nd, 2024 at 9 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
So we were right. November was right.
Yeah. I knew
Yay.
it was November.
Yeah. So November to November, guys. Um, yeah. So the next one is one that Morgan and I have discussed a lot, and is on our to playlist.
We need the playlist. Yes, please.
Yes, because I keep seeing. Okay, here's the biggest issue. I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. Sorry, guys. I keep seeing social media stuff on this, and I'm like, oh, what game is this? And then I see Split Fiction, and I'm like, nope, got to keep going because I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
We need to plan
This is
it
your
soon.
fault, Morgan.
We need to plan it.
Okay. So, in Split Fiction, you will embrace mind blowing moments as you're pulled deep into the many worlds of Split Fiction, a boundary pushing co op adventure. I love this game. I think this game is actually from the developers of It Takes Two.
Which It Takes Two
And
brought in many awards. It won Game of
yes,
the Year back in 2021.
you just said that.
Perfect
Look at
timing
your brain.
for look at
I
that.
know, right?
Ooh, so good.
What? Visually appealing,
Visually
visually
beautiful.
stunning.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I love the fact of like we love Morgan and I love the fact that it's literally people of two opposite genres. Two genres that both of us are very much into.
Yeah.
But like it's opposite genres and being able to go back and forth between two different things. I know there's like all types of stuff in the game regarding like you don't just play as humans, you play as like creatures, you ride dragons, like that's just from trailers seeing those kinds of things, but definitely a game that I can see is a contender, but I don't know if it would make game of the year. And I'm not trying to, poo poo it away. I just feel like it could do better in maybe like a co-op thing or maybe it's a performance thing
I
or
do think this game is going to take home awards. If it's not Game of the Year, it's taking home other rewards for
yeah,
sure.
I think this is definitely going to be in other categories. We're going to see big wins from it. I don't know or feel like it's going to do well in game of the year, especially going up against if it's true, Claire Obscure or even Death Stranding 2. Like those games are bigger
Split
hitters
Fiction
and
for me is one of my ones that is it for me personally contender for Game of the Year. So
that's fair.
it's definitely up there for me. I have other games. We're gonna be just a tease to the end of the year. We will be compiling a list of like what our top games that we were able to play because we're not gonna be able to touch every game that has released this year, but we will compile a list of
Try.
like what our top games were. Um,
We're going to try.
we're gonna do our best. That's at least the plan. Plans can change. But
But, like, but I would love to be told differently, if Split Fiction
mhm,
takes it home, I'm gonna be happy for them. Like, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh man." But, I just in my opinion, I don't see it doing well against if especially if you have Clair Obscur and Death Stranding in there.
sure. Well, next up, the another game we have is actually Monster Hunter Wilds. So, in Monster Hunter Wilds, the unbridled force of nature runs wild and relentless, with environments transforming drastically from one moment to the next. This is a story of monsters and humans and their struggles to live in harmony in a world of duality. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about this Monster Hunter installment. I've heard a lot of good things about Monster Hunter Wilds. There's I've heard a lot of things about the franchise in general. I have not played this game, though I do think it looks great. I think it is extremely enjoyable. I and I will say I say this a little naively. I don't know if this is game of the year contender. I don't know. I don't know. What
I
do you
don't
think?
think I don't think this game will take it. Right now it has for recent reviews overwhelmingly negative reviews for it.
Yeah.
It's leading with mixed reviews. We're not seeing the spike of popularity like we did with the first one, um, Monster Hunter Worlds, I want
I
to
think it's
say, which I
World.
played. Yeah. Um, and not that it's not fun, because people are saying it is fun based off of their reviews. It's just there are still some things about it that they don't see that competes against the first one. And I get that. Sometimes that sequel isn't as good as the first one. Um, so well, Element says, wow, really? I had fun playing it. I wonder what people don't like about it. Well, if you would like me to, do we have some time?
Just do a couple. Just do a few. Just a few.
Okay. All right. So one person says that the game itself is pretty fun, but the performance, yeesh. A game that doesn't look that much better than World while running worse than Dragon Dogma 2 is something to be studied. Another person says that Capcom actively thinking they can get away with how this game runs is baffling. They don't acknowledge the problems and they made zero progress to fix these issues in the past 3 months this game has released because they think it's a bad investment. Um, Game poops itself more than a person with diarrhea. And I had experienced multiple times frames dropping below 50 frames per second in a 9800 3D 5090 combo. So, yeah. So it seems like there's an optimization issue with this game.
Dang.
And if you have overwhelmingly negative reviews, I don't think it's going to do well for a game award. If it does, big shocker. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, big
No.
shocker. So I just needed to see what they said because I know you said, "Oh, I've heard good things." I've played the first one, and the first one was really, really good. I have not heard good things about this one from like anybody that I've talked to, minus the people in this chat right now who are like, "It's not bad." Um,
I've heard some good things. I've heard good and bad. Like I can't say I've really heard bad. I've heard good and it's okay. I've never heard personally just straight out, yeah, this game sucked kind of thing.
ah, yeah, the first one is Worlds or World, I should say. It's Monster Hunter World. And that one's very positive still. And that one
Yeah,
ran perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues with that one. Were the graphics like subpar? Yeah, the graphics were subpar, but it came out in like 2018, so they should be subpar, you know,
sure.
for a 2018 game. And this one also has a DLC for Iceborne, which was the new one that they brought out for that, and then they released Wilds.
When we say first one, we also just could just mean like the first released, first in the franchise.
Yeah, yeah. They are in a I just mean like when I say sequel, I don't always mean like actual sequel. I just mean like number 2, the second one in the franchise. So, but I digress.
But
All right, lastly,
we do have another one in a franchise for that coming up.
yes. This one's probably like the sequel of 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 the sequel. But all independently standing.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thanks, Dan. Uh Damn you, Dennis. All right, lastly is Assassin's Creed Shadows. You'll experience an epic action adventure story set in feudal Japan. Become a lethal shinobi assassin and powerful legendary samurai as you explore a beautiful open world in a time of chaos. I think this game I don't I think people were having issues with this game and they said that it wasn't as good as they thought it was going to be from what I remember.
I mean,
I'm
there
going
was
to
also
look up
just a
and
lot
see
of
what it's
hate with
doing.
this game over us having a black samurai, which is annoying because it wasn't common. There is actual historical bits of there actually being samurais who were, you know, ethnically black and everything. So it's just one of those things where it's like, there was a lot of hate early on for this game for like reasons that shouldn't have had to have the hate, in my opinion. I have heard about like some optimization issues for the game as well. But that's about the extent of it. I'm very interested in this game. I've been wanting a Assassin's Creed, like feudal Japan Assassin's Creed for a very long time. I have not had the chance to dive into this game and mess around with it, or watch my husband act rather, because usually he's the Assassin's Creed person and I just watch him play the game.
Yeah,
um,
that's
but
fair. That's fair.
yeah, yeah, we actually surprisingly have not purchased this game yet and messed around with it. But I will say I do not think this is a contender for the game of the year.
I, yeah, I mean there has been a lot of updates they've already put out. They have a new roadmap, so I'm looking at their homepage right now on their Steam page. Um so a lot of stuff that they're doing with the game to kind of keep it going, which is nice. But as far as a contender, I don't think it's gonna get up there. I
I
think
don't think
there
so.
are other ones out there that are way higher in the food chain of gamers and how they've done it. Do I think this game is incredible? I do actually. This is a game that I really like. I didn't really get into the Assassin's Creed stuff until Origins was a thing because I couldn't get behind the original ones. I had really a hard time with them. And then when
They're
they gave
slower.
Origins a thing, they
They're
are well, they're slower, but it's like the mechanics behind it. Like you
Yes.
still get the same
I
mechanics,
I'm
but the
I'm right there with
mechanics.
you. I That's why I'm like a watcher of Assassin's Creed, because
Mhm.
I had a hard time in the beginning, and that's how I like consumed the story, was by watching people play them. So that's why
Yeah.
I play around with them, because we own all of them except for this one. And
Yeah.
I've watched Dan always play them, and I love this Assassin's Creed franchise. So I do like this game. There's a lot of historical stuff in here, even the stuff that people want to be ignorant about. And um, I love Japan. I love stuff in feudal Japan, and this is actually a storyline I've been asking for from Assassin's Creed for a very long time, and it's finally here. So I've been very excited about this game. I want to be able to consume it and enjoy it eventually. I just haven't had the time to.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just don't think, with the competition it has this year, I don't think it's going to land game of the year.
No.
And I'll be happily proven wrong.
Same. All right, so we want to know, do you guys agree that Claire Obscure will take home top award, game of the year, or is there another game that's standing out? Let us know.
Yeah.
Do you think there's another one like out there that's like, hey? I mean, I don't really know if Borderlands will be there,
It's
because
hard to say.
it's coming out before the due date, right?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I don't know. It might do story, but I don't know if it'll be a contender. Like I can't say
Yeah.
that for sure
It
because I
really
haven't seen
just
it.
it really just depends. We still have 4 months, and that's 4 months. Guys, our upcoming games lists always are pretty long. Luckily today it's not. it wasn't I wasn't being murdered, and how many I had to for graphics I had to make. But there are so many games coming out constantly, and honestly,
Mhm.
the Game Awards only scratch the very surface of them. They don't get down and deep into the weeds of all the indie stuff and everything. Like they do stuff and they support indie things, but you know, there's so many games that come out in a year that it's hard to keep track of everything. And I do think that there could be a game that comes out later this year that could knock Play Obscure out. I don't know what it is. It could be one I don't even know yet. So it's hard to say for sure. Like, do I think Player Obscure has a good like running for Game of the Year? Absolutely. I think we also have some other amazing games that have came out that could have that chance as well. I did not expect Astrobot to take it last year. So there could be something that could end up taking it this year that I never expected as well. You never know when it comes to a whole organization making the decisions.
There was that Tides of Annihilation. If that comes, it's not listed to come out. When that game comes out, though, that game will probably contend for
I could
Game of
see
the
that.
Year.
I could see that. Now, I also want to just say it's not a contender for Game of the Year, but I want to know, guys, if you can also put in chat or into our comments, depending on where you're watching this, let us know what game, what reveals do you think you're going to get at Game of the Year? I really think we're going to finally get our next Fable reveal. I think they're holding out on a big Fable reveal for the Game of the Game Award show.
That's fair. I mean, we did get a little bit. We got a sneak peek last time,
Yeah. I think
and it was
because people were hoping
beautiful.
and like begging to get something at the Xbox game showcase,
Yeah.
and people were
I
upset they
know.
didn't.
I
And
thought
and
so
people were
too.
upset we didn't. Like I had my friend Kim message me like, "You watched it? Did they do a Fable thing?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I would bet anything they're waiting for the Game Award show at the end of the year." So,
I
yeah.
think we're gonna get another GTA 6 reveal.
I could see that. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that as well. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well,
Yeah. I think that's gonna happen. And I really feel like there's a new Fallout in the works and we just haven't heard about it yet. And I
I
really
honestly, I
feel
agree with
in
you.
my
I
deep
agree
in
with
my
you.
soul that there is something that Bethesda has not showed us, because why would they show us during the Xbox showcase a DLC for Fallout 76 for Gone Fishing? What the
Yeah.
hell?
So
There is something that they are
also,
working on.
when
And I
is
don't even
the
care if
Game
it's just
Awards?
like, I don't even care if it's a reveal like they did with Persona, where it's like we just get a little sneak peek and we're like, oh my God, you know? I'm okay with that. But we need to really, there's something we're missing.
Now, I do want to say so the Game Awards for this year will be on Thursday, December 11th, which KP and I, if available, which usually we are for it, we always do our watch party. We love doing the watch party. So when this happens, we will be live with it. But I just want to mention because you were talking about Fallout. Season 2 of Fallout releases in December as well. So I do think like we saw last time some cool stuff with Fallout, like them coming out in the armor and everything. I think we're going to get some cool stuff for Fallout season 2 as well during that. So yeah.
Yeah, there is definitely something we're missing. Because we have not gotten like yeah, they did Gears of War, I got that, but Fallout has not been shown yet. The new the new God of War has been talked about, but
Mhm.
we have not seen anything. So that's another thing that we could see. Fable, like everybody else has said, we better get something on Fable. I agree. We have been waiting for Fable. That is like everybody's blood and bones right now, Fable. And I agree with that. Um, and what else? I feel like there's another one that we haven't seen in a
Yeah,
while that
Fable,
is,
GTA 6 for sure. We'll probably get
yeah,
more with The Witcher 4.
that's true.
Um,
We will.
there's another one I'm blanking on off the top of my head, but I don't know. Yeah, anyway.
Dan says he's skeptical about the God of War.
That's
No,
fair.
I
That's
think
fair.
that's fair, but I think there's something there that we're not getting yet. And I know, like I said, I would rather just have the teaser trailers like we do with Persona, where it was like, okay, there's a new Persona coming out, and that was it. And even though I went, that was it, like at least I know that there's a game coming out, and I have to follow it for later
Yeah.
down the line.
Alrighty, guys. With all that, though, please let us know more things in chat. We're going to go on a short break, but while we're on break, please let us know what reveals do you think or want to see at the Game Awards this year in December. But until then, we'll be back momentarily and we'll be back talking about all the upcoming games releasing next week. See y'all soon. All right, some exciting new games release next week, and we're excited to share them all with you. With that being said, KP, I'm going to let you start us off with the first title.
Oh, good. Finally, I get to talk some more. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
talk.
All right. So, starting on Monday, Relic Bound is a TPS story rich action adventure game where you play as Jackson, an archaeologist abducted by a sinister organization to help them find a precious relic which can manipulate the time. Relic Bound releases on Monday, July 28th on PC, and there is a demo on Steam. I think
Very
I
nice.
added this to my demo list, which
I think
is
I did
longer
too.
than long.
Yeah,
I'm like, I
same.
believe I did. The longer than long demo list.
See, I'm a sucker for archaeology and stuff like that. Like, that's actually what I wanted. I wanted to go into archaeology, but it's so flooded and doesn't have like uh, it's hard to make money there now. I went into a different field that is actively hard
Also
as
flooded
well
and
and
doesn't
flooded.
make a lot of
Yeah.
money.
It's fine. It's great. Anyway, I was like, you know what?
See, you did
I want
you
to
you
make
followed your dreams. What
yeah,
you're telling
I
me
was
is you followed your dreams was to
I'm
go into an industry that was flooded and you barely make money.
I always
Got it.
enter hard mode with everything.
Yeah, like you get a character, you're level 0. You're like, "You know what? I'm going to play on like Torment 20. It's fine.
Yeah, it's great. It's fine. I love it.
I'll
No.
eventually get better. It's fine."
No, I am interested that when I know I added that demo to my Steam list. It's silly. Anyway, the next one we have coming up for you guys is Day of the Shell. It is a one click, one turn tactical roguelite. In a shattered and flooded world, travel from island to island with only hope and a revolver, challenging and appeasing the gods. Day of the Shell releases on Tuesday, July 9th on PC, and there is
29.
a sorry, 29th on PC. Wow, can't talk. Um there is a Day of Shell prologue that is out now and is free to play.
Yeah, it's not a demo, it's prologue.
Yes.
There's a difference. There's a
Yeah.
difference. Difference. All right, next up, thousands of enemies, one survivor, fight like a demigod, build deadly defenses, and grow stronger after every run in this fast-paced bullet haven heaven set in mythic Greece. It's already got me hooked with everything.
Hmm.
Achilles Survival releases on Tuesday on PlayStation 5 and 4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One and PC. And yes, I did add this to my wish list.
No surprise.
No surprise, right? Mythic Greece, and it's a bullet haven, and it's fast paced. Yes, please.
So I have this next one I've added. There's a playtest I entered into and immediately got accepted into, and I can invite friends just saying.
Ooh,
So
I
the
hear a knocking. I hear an
yeah.
invite knocking.
Knock knock wink wink. All right, everybody. In this absurd co-op horror game, you are medieval monks and the only chefs who can prevent the apocalypse. Feed enormous monsters with a catapult, evade supernatural enemies, and navigate a reality-bending labyrinth with up to 4+ players. Co-op Kaiju Horror Cooking releases on PC on Tuesday, July 29th. If the playtest stays up, we should run the playtest together. Just saying, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm also looking at
When
you
I
in
saw
chat,
this,
shirtless, and Ramp, if you're still there, Brim,
when I saw
wherever
this
you are.
game, I immediately was like, Morgan would like this game.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, you
Morgan
right,
would really like this game.
you right,
You right. You right.
you right.
All right. Well, this is one that I'm sure Morgan and I will probably dive into, and
I
I
would
will
like.
stay at home at my base because I'm happy there. So, shrunk again, but the world is much larger. In this open world single player or co op survival adventure, craft weapons and armor, build your base, and traverse the playground on your buggy. But something else is out there, and it hasn't forgotten you. Grounded 2 releases on Tuesday, July 29th on Xbox Series X and S and PC. I would like to dive into this game and see what we get into. I might freak out a little bit. Don't get me wrong. But I do think it would be a fun adventure. And I feel like, honestly, Morgan, I feel like if we streamed it together, it would be really funny, especially getting like the candid actions of me just like, nope, 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 nope.
I just want to be a
Morgan,
spider
help,
jockey.
help me.
I just want to ride around on a big spider.
You like come up to me, you're like, hello there. And I'm like, oh my
You're like, no,
God.
get away from me.
You're like, it's my pet. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's going to murder me. It's going to murder me. I know it.
He's a good boy.
I named him Steve. Why? Why did you name him Steve?
So he feels more comfortable for you.
He feels more comfortable for you. And then all of a sudden he looks at me and he goes, I'm just here, bro. Why?
Well,
Oh.
this next one,
All
though,
right. Just took a turn. Let's go back.
this next one I'm so excited for.
You don't say.
Anyway, guys,
There will be a
well,
review on this next one, by the way.
I will. I am. Don't worry. Welcome home, hobbits. Live the cozy life of a hobbit in the wonderfully serene landscape of the Shire. Discover, decorate, and share in this idyllic corner of Middle Earth. Join friendly hobbits and familiar faces awaiting your arrival in Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. Tales of the Shire releases on PC, Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S on Tuesday, July 29th. I will be buying this game. I will be streaming this game. So that means I will be reviewing this game.
Is that what that means? No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
it does.
She will be streaming the game. She will be left alone. She will not be talking to the rest of her friends. She It's a single player game. Who are you going to talk to?
Myself, obviously.
Obviously. Oh man. All right. Well, I may buy the game. I got to see what the price is on it cuz if it's
It's
out of my price
expected to be
range.
like 35 or $40, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we found with Nintendo Switch, but it could be different on a PC. So,
Yeah, I doubt it.
I doubt it too. But anyway, moving on. Find your missing friend, uncover the secrets within, brave a luxurious and haunting mansion in Dead Take, a first person psychological horror crafted by Surgent Studios. Dead Take releases on Thursday, July 31st on PC. Woohoo!
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yes.
Next up,
Puzzles.
yeah. Next up, pass through the threshold and enter a world born of memories. Defend yourself with a camera while solving death's mysteries in a reverent evolution of 90s survival horror. Integrated both fixed cameras and over the shoulder perspectives. Heartworm releases on PC on Thursday on July 31st, and there also is a demo on Steam if you want to test it out. I'm a little curious, not gonna lie, because cameras.
Cameras, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking too when you I
yeah,
was like, she liked the cameras.
yeah.
All right, a little robot digs to repair her world. Dig, build, discover, and mend in a chill stop motion world. Machina releases on PC on Thursday, July 31st, and there is also a demo on Steam. Machina. I like the name of it.
It is cute.
I
All
also
right.
like that it's stop motion. You don't see a lot of stop motion
You
video
don't see a
games.
lot of stop motion in video games. You don't. Even like you see a little bit of like claymation and stuff too, like, but you
Mhm.
don't see a whole lot of it.
Right.
It's not as common for sure. All right, y'all.
Well,
Last
one.
but not
One.
least, a brand new side scrolling entry to the Ninja Gaiden series from the team behind Blasphemous Ninja Gaiden Ragebound redefines the classic platformer saga in a spectacular, thrilling, and challenging ninja adventure. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound releases on Thursday, July 31st on PlayStation 5 and 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And hey, there's also a demo available on Steam.
Woohoo!
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And with that, everybody, that is what is releasing next week. So, yeah, go catch out those demos or go get ready to buy them if you're me, like Tales of the Shire, for example. um,
Morgan's over there counting her money.
yeah.
I could do it. I could do it. I could do. Dan, I'm a penny short.
No, I will be getting it and I will be streaming it. I genuinely am super excited for it. But yeah, we do want to say though, guys, for our next show, the 2025 Evolution Championship Series will be held at Las Vegas Convention Center. We'll be bringing you any information from that event. And Steam kicks off its Racing Fest on Monday, July 28th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll show you some of the games that stood out to us from that during the show. And yeah, before we go though, and before I dive into where we are in our socials, I do want to say next week, specifically on Saturday, but we'll be celebrating on Sunday, is our 4-year anniversary of the show. You know, through
4 years.
through two major moves and a hiatus because of the moves and just crazy life stuff and a wedding and a full-on
I was
wedding
like,
and
don't forget your
yeah,
wedding.
I'm not alone. I'm getting there. Like we had two major moves on KP's side. We had major wedding on mine, plus the honeymooning and hiatuses that came because of it. And we have been so happy to come back and to continue the show harder and stronger than ever. We're 12 subscribers away from our current YouTube subscriber goal of 200. So we just want to say that next week is our 4-year anniversary and we will be celebrating it. We're probably going to do a giveaway. So make sure you tune in so you can have we're not going to say when the giveaway is happening and what, like where and when during the show, but there will be one happening in celebration of our 4-year anniversary. So make sure you tune in so you can enter and hopefully win whatever the prize is. It'll be announced next week during the show. But as I was saying, before we go, don't forget to check us out across all of our social medias. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, and Threads, as well as TikTok.
Damn it, I forgot one.
I always
I've been
remember,
trying to
don't you worry.
I try to keep up with making sure I have all of them in there, and I'm like, you said and again. Shoot.
Sorry.
It's been an interesting show. And you know, if you're over on TikTok, or if you're over on TikTok, follow us. I mean, come on.
Yeah, do it.
If you're over if you're over on Twitch or if you're over on YouTube, I see you three people watching. Don't think I don't. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell so you know when we go live, when we're updating new content because we're uploading content every day, at least twice a day. I will say at least because I know Morgan's doing more, but I will say at least. And help us out over on Twitch too, guys. Give us a heart. Give us,
Follow us.
share that love.
Subscribe if you can,
Follow
because
us.
if you subscribe, you get the use of our new Techyries, Tash, and or Morgan and KP emotes. Look at them. They're so cute. We're adorable. We're amazing. You can use it.
And eventually down the line, we're going to make a special subscription code for our store so that you guys can get a percentage off if you subscribe to us. So
Yes.
if you
Gonna be
haven't
awesome.
subscribed, do it now. Use that Prime.
Do it.
Use that Prime.
Yeah.
Do it. It's free. All right. Well, we have a lot to work on for next week.
Yeah,
Big
we do.
celebrations. Maybe Morgan will get balloons. I don't know. I don't know what Morgan's gonna do. Maybe Morgan will make us like specific overlays that have like happy anniversary or something. I don't know. I'm messing with you. She's like, what are you doing to me? I'm watching her face and she's like, what? We're doing what now?
Okay.
Maybe we'll ride in on dragons. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That'd be
With
cool,
machine
though.
guns mounted to their heads specifically.
right. Yes, they're like, "Rawr." We're like, "Weak." Come on, you know that was the best one that I could think of.
It was perfection. No flaws.
See, I'm better than ChatGTP. That's what's up. And don't you forget. All right, with that said, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Until then, keep processing.
Bye.